Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back. I just honestly dead set copied you.
You did exactly.
We are up to episode 3.
Episode 3, season 3. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
We were gonna start. We kind of made a little pact to ourselves that when we first started this season, we were gonna say to each other "How are you?"
Mm-hmm.
Checking in.
How are you?
I'm good.
How are you? I was like, how are you, Helena?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. We have had such a wild morning. We went. Well, I didn't actually go on the slide.
I would like to say I was up at 4:40 a.m. to get my ass down to the freaking Gold Coast.
You were hightailing
because
it
Shay
down.
wanted to go for walkies.
So
we did. We went for a walk with
brought
Shay.
the boyfriend, brought the dog.
Yeah.
And then the boyfriend and I was going to say the dog. No, the boyfriend and the Helena went down this massive slide.
It was terrifying.
You were squealing down. So it's been a really fun morning, but we're going to calm down.
Yeah. We've had some lunch. Shay did my eyebrows. Yes. So lucky me.
She's about to go to New Zealand. That's why.
Yeah.
You're like, Shay, please.
Shay, please. We'll touch on that later.
Yeah.
But we have a very exciting episode today that we are so excited to finally bring to you guys. I feel like this guest speaker has been on our to-do list.
Literally as one of our top guest speakers since the beginning.
And we are actually lucky enough to have this guest speaker as one of our sponsors this season, which is even more exciting. Mm-hmm. Would you like to introduce our amazing guest speaker?
Drum roll. So today we have Lucy from Lash Rescue. Welcome, Lucy.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello. I'm excited to be here.
We just got frozen for a second.
We got frozen. I was like, oh no, here we go.
So hi, Lucy. You are currently in Victoria, so you're in a different state to us. We're doing a Zoom.
No, I'm very excited to be.
Oh, okay. We are just going to have to, and I think it's me, I'm going to have to calm down because I like to talk really fast and then Zoom's not ready for it. So, Hi, welcome, Lucy.
Thank you. I'm so excited and nervous.
Don't be nervous. We are probably the most chill podcast hosts you'll ever meet.
Good.
Sitting behind you, you look like you have the most gorgeous house. Are these your windows?
So this isn't my house. This is my parents' house, but we'll just pretend that it's my house.
Yeah. I was like, how do I get these windows in my life?
Who fooled us?
No, they have a good window washer. Let's just say that. So
yeah, you have to. So whereabouts are you in Victoria?
So we're in the country. So we're in Bairnsdale, which is about 30 minutes from Lakes Entrance, if you know where that is.
Oh, we
probably
not know
not.
Not
many people know where it is.
City.
Yeah, no, it's so far away from you. So yeah, we're right down the bottom of Victoria. So about 4 hours from Melbourne. So we're still a bit far away from everything. But yeah.
Is it cold? Freezing?
No, it's freezing here.
She's a cold one. And now you're also a mum as well as a business owner, aren't you?
Yes. So I've got a 2.5-year-old and I am 18 weeks pregnant.
Congratulations. That's so exciting. What's your little girl's name?
It's funny because we haven't actually announced it to anyone. So you guys should feel really privileged that this is the announcement.
Congratulations.
I was going to say, I haven't seen anything on Instagram with Lash Rescue yet.
I thought I missed it. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very excited, a bit nervous, but...
And what is your bub's name?
Her name is Lottie. So she's named after one of our products.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of short for Charlotte, but we just...
I love Lottie. That's so cute. Yeah. Okay, and products. Talk to us about that. That's kind of the whole reason we, as business owners, ended up connecting in the industry. So tell us everything about Lash Rescue. The floor's yours.
So... I launched Lash Rescue in, I think, 2018. So I just moved home from Melbourne to my mum and dad's house in Bairnsdale because I'd gotten quite sick. And I felt like there was a massive gap in the market for an affordable serum. There's some amazing serums on the market, but they're above $120. And my demographic of where I am, they can't afford to spend that money on beauty products or even just things on themselves, really. So my goal was to try and find a really good serum, but that can accommodate for everyone and that isn't just a luxury for everyone. So at the start, it was kind of just a product that I wanted to retail to my clients and just say like, because I did eyelashes, that was my full-time job at that stage. And it really took off. So then I started reaching out to people and saying, do you want to try it? Blah, blah, blah. So I ended up then going online. But I feel like we didn't take off properly until COVID.
Right.
So I find that a lot of other serum brands launched and took off in COVID as well because no one could get lashes.
Yeah.
So everyone wanted to grow them. So for that first kind of 2 years was just finding my feet, I think, and, you know, getting our name out there. But yeah, we really, really took off in 2020 when COVID happened. So I'm very kind of, as shit as COVID was, it grew the business to what it is now.
I was going to say that's like so wild because it's such a different experience than a lot of other people in the beauty industry had through those times. So it's so crazy to see that someone had such a positive from such a negative.
Yeah, definitely. And I can, looking and seeing like so many other businesses during COVID, a lot of them found success in that stage, which is amazing. And it's good to see that it's followed them into post-COVID times, even if that is kind of a thing. That the success has kind of followed them into that. So yeah, we're just starting. I feel like we're just starting to really take off even more than when we did in COVID. So
and bigger and better.
The next year or two is really exciting. We've got some really cool things coming. So
yeah.
Oh, that sounds like very exciting because we are obsessed with Lash Rescue.
I have to say, your packaging is a standout, and I want to know what was the kind of idea behind that.
Yeah, like because it's so unique and different, and I know that it's all you as well. Like you design and
it's literally your face on there, right?
Yeah, so it's actually quite a funny story. So when I started, I actually designed it on Canva.
Oh, good old Canva.
Canva is the best thing that you can have for your business.
Yeah.
Love a good Canva design. My designer would kill me if she heard that then. But I was actually in hospital, like about to have my baby, when I posted on a forum saying like, I need to upgrade this. I really I know what I want in my head. I just need someone to put like that pen to paper.
Yeah.
And she commented on it and just said like, I'm a designer. I think she's around 25. And I was like, yep, you are my girl. And the first concept that she sent back was the first one that we took.
Oh,
so she really nailed the brief.
Did you want to give her a little shout out, or is she somebody you like to keep secret?
Yeah, definitely. Her name's Callie E Design.
Callie E Design.
Look, I share her for everyone. I think that there's no gatekeeping in this industry, and she is the titties. So she actually lives in Dubai now with her partner. So she does stuff for Australians still as well. So if you want her, Callie.
Love that.
Callie E Design.
Nice shout out.
Keep going. So you got your first brief. It was the one. What was the next step after that?
That we had actually a few issues with our printing stage. And this is something that you run into as a business, and that you don't really get until you're in the thick of it. The printing that came out with our first batch, I think there was maybe 1,000 to 2,000, and my packaging isn't cheap.
No.
Yeah.
I think I paid for these ones, and they were just a box, like a die cut box, and they were, I think, like $2.50 each to get printed,
and you got
and they were all wrong.
Oh,
so
you're kidding.
some of them didn't line up with like the die cut. Some were all different colors, like the Pantone or whatever was off. So we had to have a full reprint, and that took months. So it definitely put us back.
Was that your expense as well?
Yeah. So the second reprint was done. It was that long ago, but I'm pretty sure they rectified it because it was shit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't use any of them. And after that, I actually used to fold each box and put the serum in each box and seal them all up, and it was a big job.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that was different, that we could reuse. So definitely, like, I wanted to be able to recycle our cylinders, and I found that there was no one in the serum industry that had that cylinder box. So I have had countless samples and everything sent to me, and we found the perfect supplier that did the best foil and the spot UV. And like, as I said before, our packaging does cost a lot, but it pays off because it's different and it stands out from everyone else. And
huge selling point.
Yeah, it's quality. And I also like the fact that you can reuse it. I put my little mascara spoolies in it all the time and keep them in my handbag. So it's definitely just other little things. So packaging was definitely a must for me because it's the first thing that people see when they go to pick you up off the shelves.
Yeah, and it's like when it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye, it's almost like too hard to say no.
Especially in the sense that you wanted to retail it. You want it to look pretty on people's beauty shelf.
It's literally like, I have so many clients, like I have the Lash Rescue products like above where I like check people out, like where my POS system is, and like the amount of times people are like, what's that?
Yeah, that's pretty.
And I'm like, well, hey, you need that.
Yeah.
So it's very aesthetically pleasing, but you have absolutely crushed it when it comes to not only like the product, but the design of the products as well.
So I have a question as well. You said that your little girl Lottie is one of your product names. Your lash serum, brow lash serum. Actually, I know you got two. But what are the names for each product, and what are your products? Give us the rundown.
So my products, I'm a very I don't know how to explain it. I like to praise people for the things that they do for me in my life. So I feel like in the last like kind of couple of years, I've really had so much like I've had people around me that have brought me down and, you know, have made me second guess my worth. And I have gotten rid of that many people in my life that I think, you know, you're shit for me. You don't make me feel good. So I need people in my life that are going to make me feel good and empowered and want to push me to be my best. So that's kind of what my brand is based around is, you know, and like you two, empowered women empower women really. Amen. So my 3 products are named after my sister, Abby. So that's our mascara.
Love the mascara.
Our serum is Lottie, which is my daughter. And Rosie is my mum, so she's the brow serum. So it's a bit corny when I tell people, but, you know, the products stand for the same kind of things that these women in my life stand for. So, you know, they're going to push you to be the best that you can be. They're going to encourage you to grow and be strong, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's so corny.
I actually love that. Like that's so special, and I feel like a lot of people may not know that about Lash Rescue. So it almost gives an insight to not only your customers, but like wholesalers like myself who do wholesale your product in our studios, that it is such like a little home
special.
It is. Moment. It's so special. Like I would do that in a heartbeat. I would name brow serums after all of my nieces. I'd have a lot, but I'd do it.
You would have a lot of nieces.
I know. And then sometimes like I don't have enough products for them after these.
Really, I need to make another one.
Keep making. Being in the brown lash world before, and now you're doing your products, how do you juggle your time? Do you do any lash and brow servicing anymore, or are you completely now just product based?
So I actually used to work in Melbourne full time at quite a big lash salon. So I did maybe probably 10 years of lashing.
Wow.
And then when I moved home to my parents, I worked, I had a salon at home and we renovated just kind of like Helena does at her house. You know, you've got this big room, and I had actually 2 staff with me. Wow. And then COVID hit, and then I realized how much I actually hated doing eyelashes.
Ah.
So I never went back. Wow. So brows was always like a side thing, like, oh, do you want a brow wax while you get your lashes done? And then brows kind of took over my love, and I just hate lashes. I really did not enjoy doing them.
What is it? The tedious part of it all?
I don't know. I think it was just like the repetitive. It was just so repetitive, and I was working like 6 days a week because I didn't have a baby then.
Oh, working hard.
And now I work 2 days a week now. And I also do cosmetic tattooing as well. So I just do brow tattooing and just, your normal brow services and lash lifts as well.
I have to ask.
I feel like lash lifts are really taken.
Yeah, they have. What is your business name in the brow and lash lifting world? Because we all know Lash Rescue, but what is your service business?
So my business is called Brow Lab, so Brow Lab Bairnsdale.
Cute.
So before I was Brow Lab, I was the Lash Lab.
Gotcha.
And then I
all switched
it around, switcheroo.
No, lovely.
Yeah.
And so how is life now, juggling between products, baby? I'm assuming you have a partner, a house to look after, and another side business.
Yes.
How do you juggle it all?
That is a fantastic question.
Like, we'll figure it out later.
Sometimes I ask myself that a lot. So my partner works, he does like fly in, fly out, but it's about 6 hours away. So he does 2 weeks on and then 1 week off.
Wow.
So during that time, I'm on my own.
That's a lot.
So I work 2 days a week in the salon just doing the brows, and then all the other days are purely dedicated to basically being a mum and packing orders at the same time. So if you sometimes see like a little scribble on your label, like your shipping label, that's my daughter. So she's just put her little 2 bobs in.
Lottie's been drawing.
Lottie's been packing the
packing the orders.
Yeah. So this weekend has definitely been one of the hardest because we had our best trading week ever because of Afterpay Day.
And
I had to single-handedly pack every single order, and I have done it with a toddler in tow. So I really take my hat off to women who are working mamas because it is tough work.
That kind of brings us into one of the subjects that I did really want to chat with you about, because I feel like with Shay and I, obviously we don't have kids yet, and I feel like a lot of women in our industry are mums, and they do juggle the whole work and mum life balance. But how did you find it changed when you had Lottie, and like, having your partner not be there for 2 weeks at a time kind of thing? Like, how did it feel? How was it like to adjust?
I think I kind of weeded out a lot of clients that would be pissed off if I cancelled their appointment, because one, being a mother comes first, and it always is going to come first. Whereas before, I would never take a sick day because I was too scared. I had, no excuse. But now with Lottie, if she can't go to daycare, and my backup is really my mum and my sister, so if they can't look after her, then I have to cancel my full day. So it can be really hard to juggle like your appointments, and if you do have to say, look, sorry, I've got to stay at home today because she's sick. And this winter has really kicked a lot of us in the ass.
I keep hearing that. Hey,
all the sicknesses, and and I feel like every second week I'm messaging my client saying like, I'm sorry, I've got to reschedule your appointment because either one, I'm sick or she's sick. And I've really, really got a good group of clientele that understand and they're happy to work around me. But I really do feel for the people who have them clients that don't really care.
You definitely want to weed those ones out who don't understand and respect your time and also your family and your baby.
Absolutely. Yeah. You did mention that you moved home because you were unwell. And you did say that you were an open book. So if you're up for like chatting in regards to life before Lash Rescue and everything like that, give us a rundown.
So I moved to Melbourne to do nursing and absolutely hated it. And I had already done lashes on the side. So I found a job down there doing just lashes at quite a big salon. And I was there for like a good 4, 5,
Wow.
6 years, I think. And yeah, and I loved it. I had made some really, really good friends. They were basically my family. But I have type 1 diabetes as well. So that always made me, I was higher risk of catching, all these things. And it was kind of like I was too scared to take a sick day. And it would get to the point that I would work to that point that I would get taken away in an ambulance because I was too scared to be sick.
Right.
I went to Bali and I actually was quite sick before that. So I'd lost about maybe 12 kilos before I went on holidays. And I was the manager of the store at that point. And we weren't really sure what was going on. I had like these aches and pains in my legs all the time. So a side effect of diabetes is a thing called neuropathy. So it's where all the nerves in your legs and parts of your body start to obviously not work anymore. Wow. So a lot of diabetics at the end of their life, most of the time end up losing, toes and feet and stuff because of circulation.
Wow.
So we thought I kind of had the start of that. Yeah, and I went to the doctor and I was like, I'm not sleeping because my legs are moving all the time. They're so sore. Like, I'm not eating. I can't, like, all of this stuff. And she was like, hey, have this little pill. It's called Lyrica, and it is going to help you sleep, and it's also going to take away your nerve pain. And I was like, beauty. So took it. Then I went back maybe 3 weeks later. She's like, how you going? I was like, well, I've lost, another couple of kilos. It wasn't getting any better. So she was like, oh, just up your dose again. Anyway, that's when it kind of started to, I was one of them people that had the bad side effects of taking obviously a medication. So I lost nearly 30 kilos in about 4 months.
From just taking this
could not
tablet?
Eat. Yeah. So we think, looking back at all of the psych appointments and stuff that we had, we think that having this pill as well as everything else that was going in my life, it almost brought on like anxiety-induced anorexia. So one of the side effects of this pill was extreme weight gain, but I had the complete opposite.
Wow.
So it just got to the point where my mum and dad, like, I moved home and then I continued to keep losing weight. And every doctor that we went to, they're like, no, the pills, it's fine. Like, you're going crazy, basically. Like, it's fine. Like, just keep taking it. And I was like almost addicted to these pills because I'm like, what kind of pain am I going to be in if I stop taking it?
Yeah, of course.
So it got really, really fucking bad, really bad. So a lot of that time in my life, I think I've just fully like blocked out, and it's taken, so long to be able to talk about it without breaking down into tears because my whole life changed. I had to quit my job, moved 4 hours, lived back with my parents. So we ended up going to a different specialist. And she said to me, and my dad took me down, and the lady said to me, I hope you've packed your bag. And I was like, what for? And she said, you are like extremely sick and you need to go to hospital.
Oh.
So I was in ICU in Melbourne for like a good couple of weeks. So all of my organs then had started to shut down. Yeah. So all of my organs had started to shut down because I had lost so much weight so quickly and I wasn't eating that, if you don't eat, you die. So there was nothing. I just could not eat. I couldn't even look at it. And I got down to like maybe 40-something kilos. And I'm a tall girl. So, it was quite hard. But when I was in the ICU, they said like, look, you have an eating disorder and we need to address this, because the only way that you are going to leave this hospital is if you go and get help. And if you don't get help, you will leave in a casket. And that was when it was like penny dropped, and I was like, okay, got to get this shit fixed.
I have goosebumps.
Did you have anyone say that to you before this, like saying you have an eating disorder, or was this the first time someone had said it to your face, like a professional?
I think growing up, I've always been the bigger one in the group at school. Like, I was always on the larger side, and I was always uncomfortable. I was always on a diet.
Relate to that.
I was about to say, you are talking to Bomber and Bulldozer. Like, we get it.
Barn. That should be.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you know what? Like, people always say, I don't believe that you were like that big. And I'm like, I'd show you photos, but I'm like, no one will see my face.
Wow. So did you feel like you've been at both ends of the scale and just unhappy in both?
Yeah, and I've listened to to so many of I've listened to all of your podcasts, really. And, it is so resonating that, you lose this weight, but you still look in the mirror and you're like, I'm this size, but I'm still in the mentality of being that fat girl.
You have no idea how much. Yeah, I can.
And like, it didn't quite hit me until I'd moved home and I was still really, really sick. And one of my friends was like, you look really, really bad. Like,
are they being supportive?
That was when I was like, yeah, okay, I am very skinny. No, being supportive, being supportive. Friend. But she was like, you look very skinny. Yeah. So I think growing up, having that kind of never being able to lose weight, and my sister is 5 years older than me, and she's always been skinnier than me. So, it was the young fat sister. So it was always really hard.
I can relate.
Are we talking to ourselves right now?
Literally. I think we're all just talking.
I'm like I was the older fat sister.
I was the younger fat sister, don't worry.
Yeah, and I'd be like, oh, we can't even share clothes because you're like a size 8 and I'm like a size 14. Like, and it's not even, it was just hard.
You're like in my diary as a 13-year-old right now.
Yeah, and then
obviously you understand.
Like, dear diary.
Dear diary, yeah, definitely. So I think, and my mum's got a beautiful figure as well, and it was always really hard looking at them and thinking, why don't I look like that? Like, and no matter what I tried, insulin resistance with having diabetes would just, no matter what I did, it just would not work. It would not work.
Yeah, so, it's wild. Like, I actually remember like one time when I was like in the earlier stages of struggling with my weight a couple years ago, I literally went to like 3 different doctors and I was like, test my insulin. Like, I have diabetes. Like, this is why I can't lose weight. Like, surely we'll test my thyroid, test everything. Yep. Obviously, I was fortunate enough that I didn't have the disease of diabetes. But yeah, it's just wild to like know that, like, yeah, that's just, I'm like gobsmacked by that whole story.
Very.
Yeah, so I think like after I moved home, my world had it had all fallen apart. I was like, I'd lost everything. I'd moved home, and coincidentally, like, people say to you all the time, things happen for a reason, and absolutely they do. Because I moved home and I met my partner when I was really sick, and yeah, and he has been amazing throughout all of it. And he knows that I have these struggles with my eating disorder, and let's be honest, it never really goes away. Being pregnant and having an eating disorder is one of the hardest fucking things that you will ever do. It is extremely hard to watch your body change and not being able to control that change.
Yeah, of course.
But knowing that it's happening for a reason and you can't do anything about it because you're growing a human.
Yeah, exactly. Sit back and watch it happen.
Yeah. Being pregnant the first time was really, it was kind of an eye-opener. It was the first time in my life that I've looked at my body and went, hey, I love you, because this is what you've done for me. You've built this baby, and I came out the other side, and my eating disorder got quite bad again after Lottie was born. But as I said, it never really goes away, and it's just one of them things that I hope that she never experiences, and that's why I want to make sure that we have this self-love talk at home. We have this, there's no fat talk at home. There's no, and as hard as it is, not say, oh, I feel gross and I look big. You just have to not, because these children pick up on everything. And with social media these days, it absolutely terrifies me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of what my daughter is going to be like when she's older.
Yeah, that's wild. You'd be such an amazing role model for her, though. And
absolutely.
Yeah. With your mum, obviously having your mum and sister so close by as well would be so important. But I feel like she's going to grow up with a beautiful empowerment of women around her for sure.
Both my mum and my sister are my biggest.
Oh,
love that.
Yeah. She's got the right resources.
She can come to Queensland and hang out with us as well if you want.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Can we wait until this baby comes out though? Because I would love a drink.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't drink, but I'm still fun.
Yeah, you don't have to drink to have fun, but I would love a wine.
What's your drink of choice, Lucy?
Oh, I do love a Prosecco, but you just can't go past a vodka lime and soda.
Oh, she's a vodka lime and soda girl. I don't know if you know this, but we actually film at the Mr. Consistent warehouse. Do you know Mr. Consistent?
Like the cocktail,
the shaker. So we'll walk into the podcast studio and we're just going past all these bottles, and I'm like, I could go for a drink right now. Actually, there's normally stuff just behind us, and Helena will have a mocktail, and I'm like, I'll have a cocktail, sure.
A little bit lit.
We love it.
Hey, why not? I always think it's and they get so into it, and I'm like, why do they get so into it? You just want to get
literally.
I had a question. Yeah. I want to know, how did you meet your partner?
So, funny story. He actually is not usually what I go for. I'm usually I like the mean ones that treat me.
Hey, that's my type.
Steer clear, girlfriend. Steer clear. So I'm the one that I like. I kind of like that. They don't message you, and you're the one that's sitting there self-doubting. Yeah. Like, oh my God, is it me? But yeah. So I met him at one of my girlfriend's house. He was just sitting on the chair, on her couch, and I was like, oh, that's a bit cute.
Spot him across the room.
I actually had matched with him. I'd matched with him on Tinder. I think 2 weeks before that, but I'd never ever spoken to him before.
Did you know he was going to be at this event?
No, we didn't. No, it was literally, I went to my girlfriend's house, and it was just me, her, and the 3 boys that were sitting on the couch. So it was just a very intimate gig, and we didn't even talk basically the whole night.
What did we used to call it? A gatho. Just go for a gatho.
Yeah,
little gathering. We called it gatho.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, ours used to be a little gathering.
He shot his shot.
Yeah, he messaged me maybe a week later and was like, a couple of days later, and he was like, what's your Snapchat? And we all know that Snapchat's where usually things kind of, happen.
Snapchat.
He didn't ask for the Snapchat.
How old were you guys when you met? How long have you been together for?
We've been together for nearly 5 years now.
Oh, lovely.
Wow. Still no ring.
No, I was going to say, are we have any holiday plans coming up? Any exciting events?
Not really, only because we will be having a baby.
True. Do you get a push present?
Bloody better.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to think of all these things today. My parents actually own a jewelry store.
Oh, that's very...
We like our jewels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good because at least I know that he's going to pick a good ring, because
absolutely
Mum will be like, it's
I love
years ago.
I love it.
So we're currently starting to build our first house together.
That's massive. Congratulations.
Exciting. But really, hopefully, I just moves home.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
So that's obviously like big plans personal wise, and you'll be very busy with that. What is in store for Lash Rescue? Like what's up and coming, if you can give us anything?
So we've got some exciting collaborations.
Cool. So exciting.
So obviously I'll talk about it. So we're going to do obviously a collaboration with you two, which is so exciting.
We are so excited.
And I cannot wait to have your faces on the box, which is so exciting. And there's also another brand that we are working with as well to talk about having a collaboration as well, which is so exciting because it is one of my goals and I'm ticking it off. So I'm very, very honoured
getting
to have
shit
you guys
done.
on board.
Oh, we are honoured
so
too.
excited.
I remember when you asked us, and I think I voice noted Shane. I was like, Lash Rescue wants to do something with us.
Yes. Well, no, we're so excited. Well, we'll have to.
Yeah, we have to chat about
after this.
It was funny because remember when I sent
a
voice memo and I was like, I would love to collaborate with you. And Shay was sick and you're like, hey, yeah, that sounds good. I'm like, oh my God, she hates it. Hates the idea. And you're like, no, that sounds so good. I'm like, oh,
no, so excited.
Shit myself, like, oh my God.
Serious. I remember hearing that and you and me were like, fuck yes. Like straight off the bat. We love it. I think both brands.
Well, this would be like, it's a first for us as well. Not only like with Barefaced and like a naked podcast, but like obviously us doing like something together with another company as well. So it's a massive milestone for everyone. So cannot wait to share with the brow world with what we're working on.
Me too. It's going to be so exciting. And I know that Callie will pull through with some great packaging. So I'm very, very
I'm literally framing it. Like I'm not even taking a piss. It's going on a frame in my house.
Literally.
You need to get one of like the deep photo frames.
100%.
First cover.
It's the actual
100%.
No, we can't wait. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything today. Not only just business side, mum side, but also
so personal side.
Yeah. And it's nice to be able to relate to others. You know, you're like, oh, I wasn't alone, and we all felt the same shit growing up. It's really nice.
And we're so glad that we can be a platform for you as well, where you feel like you can, you know, resonate with things that we say. It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
And I think like me speaking on behalf of a lot of people that are in the brow industry and the lash industry, that we aren't alone, and that the things that you girls talk about, you're like, what happened to me like last week? So it's so nice to have like such honest and raw people talk about stuff, because sometimes you don't see through the bullshit. Like you guys are just so raw and honest that it's like, hey, that shit does happen in real life.
Oh, a bit of a punch to the ribs then.
I'm doing it.
No, we appreciate it. But again, like we mentioned at the start, like even having Lash Rescue on as a sponsor this season is a massive, like even for you being a sponsor to a podcast is just such an achievement in itself, which is so wild. And
it is, and I'm very, very honoured. So
girl,
top of the list.
It was a no-brainer for us. It was an absolute no-brainer.
And to anyone who is listening, if you have not tried Lash Rescue products, I think first things first, you go and get yourself the bundle set.
Yeah.
And you just go from there, and then look into retailing if you have a salon, because literally, like Helena said, clients will pick it off your wall and be like, what is this?
I'm literally designing a space in my studio of like shelving for like the Lash Rescue products, because I'm like, I need them on display. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan, and I mean, I use them on myself anyway.
There's actually nothing better than like when, because a lot of my like stories that people tag me in are mostly from salons, because I mostly retail as wholesale. So seeing like people and the way that they display them on the wall, I'm like, oh my God, like there's Peachy Brows in Melbourne. She's got like this big arch thing, and she's got them all in there. And Alicia Jones'
I saw that.
studio, she's displayed them so nice. And every time I see
can I get this in my house?
Yeah, that would be such a surreal moment.
Like, that's my baby, that's my sister, that's my mom.
I love that. No, that's so special.
Oh, amazing. Well, like we said before, we are so excited to see what
great.
else you come out with, because your products are gorgeous, and you can only get better from here. So it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So
And
exciting.
thank you for taking the
Thank
time
you
out of your day
so
to come on and introduce yourself to
Yes.
our listeners. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Girl,
Anytime.
no worries.
Anytime. Well, we'll leave it there so you can get back to mum life. But yeah,
Yeah.
just again, big thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Amazing. I appreciate you too.
All right. Have the best day
Mwah.
ever.
You too. Bye.
Bye.